Remember that stress is a syndrome. That all stress affects the body the same way, albeit not to the same intensity. So it doesn't matter if it's a eustress, which is a good stress, or a distress, which is a bad stress. Everything still happens the same way. It doesn't matter if it is a lion on the savannah and it is chasing the gazelle or zebra, whatever it happens to be. It's going to have the same pathways activated that you will. It doesn't matter if it's a financial stress, if it's an academic stress, if it's a relationship stress, if it's from your kids or your parents or siblings or other colleagues that you're working with. Doesn't matter what the source of stress is. It's going to work the same way in the body. Now, just a quick overview that we've got the two branches of the autonomic nervous system. We've got the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And the sympathetic is what we usually tap into because it makes us feel good. It's the fight, flight, fear, and fornication, or the 4 Fs. So anytime that you need to do one of those 4 things, the sympathetic autonomic nervous system is being branched up. Our parasympathetic is going to be our rest and digest. And if we look over here, it's like, hey, what does this do? Sympathetic dilates pupils, inhibits flow of saliva, accelerates the heartbeat, dilates the bronchioles to be able to allow more air to get in, inhibits persistalis, and inhibits secretion, or it might initially have a huge dumping out of it. Conversion of glycogen to glucose so that more blood sugar is available for energy. Secretion of the adrenaline and noradrenaline hormones. Inhibits bladder contraction. Whenever we're done, or at a different time, our parasympathetic will engage. So our pupils are normal. It stimulates saliva. It slows the heartbeat back down. It constricts the bronchi. Why would it constrict them? Because you don't need them to be open all the way to maintain your O2 level. It stimulates persistalis and secretion, so our digestion goes back to normal. It stimulates the release of bile, which is going to be helping with digestion. And it contracts the bladder so that you can excrete. So we've got these two branches of things. And if we're always on this one, this side never gets done. Now, why does stress matter? This comes from Zivak and Kramer. The physiological stress response is a temporary phenomenon which acts to prepare the neuroendocrine, musculoskeletal, and cardiovascular systems to respond appropriately to a stressful event. So think about the lion on the savannah with the zebra. We're going to use that example here in just a moment. But it is a temporary phenomenon. Whenever the zebra sees the lion and the lion is chasing it, it is a stressful event. And whenever the lion is no longer present, because the zebra was able to flee and get to safety, the stressor is gone, and then everything returns to normal. Through activation of the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, glucocorticoids, such as cortisol, are synthesized and secreted at a higher rate from the adrenal cortex. Simultaneously, the sympathetic nervous system activation results in an increased secretion of catecholamines, or epinephrine and norepinephrine, from the adrenal medulla. Under normal circumstances, the stressful signal terminates, and through a negative feedback mechanism, glucocorticoid secretion drops, stimulation of the HPA axis decreases, while simultaneously the sympathetic nervous system activity and catecholamine secretion decreases and homeostasis is restored. So the zebra sees the lion. All of a sudden, the HPA axis is activated. Glucocorticoids go up. Our catecholamines go up. We are flying through, running, sprinting, doing everything that we can. Then the stimulus is gone because the zebra is safe, and then the parasympathetic ought to kick in so that our catecholamine secretion decreases and the homeostasis is restored. This is what should happen. Unfortunately for humans, since we've got that prefrontal cortex and we can just go think about all the things that we want to do and what do happen and all of that, we tend to ruminate on things. So then the stressor never actually goes away. We think about what is going on with the coach or what's going on with the athlete, or somebody smarted off to you at the bar, and you think, oh, 2 days later you realize what you should have said to that dude. Well, you ruminated on it that entire time, so homeostasis was never restored. So we need to make sure that we're having periods, that we're away from the stressors, so that we can actually go back to homeostasis, that our SNS, sympathetic nervous system activity, can drop, our HPA axis can drop, catecholamines drop, and we can get back to normal. Now, this is extremely important, and I'll point out why as we go through this, with the association of pre-deployment heart rate variability with the risk of post-deployment post-traumatic stress disorder in active duty Marines. So within this study, essentially what they found was those who had worse heart rate variability before they deployed were the ones who were likely to get PTSD during active duty. Now, I've explained this before, and not having video would make it tough for this example to work. But if I took a balloon, and for every stressor, I simply blew into that balloon more and more to illustrate how much stress the individual had until it pops, well, we can see that for some people who have high stress before they leave and have poor heart rate variability, that it doesn't take much for them to pop. And then that would basically be the PTSD, because there's so much stress that was introduced into the system that there was no wiggle room for anything else. However, those with good heart rate variability before they left on deployment, they typically did not get PTSD because they were exposed to the same stressors, but they had enough reserves, enough wiggle room within the balloon to where that it wasn't an issue.